It can't be done, obviously. Now it's the Russian proposal that President Obama is saying he's looking at closely. We're back with our panel. Final thoughts.
This is clearly a way to get Obama off the hook politically. The chances of these weapons being eliminated from Syria are less than of the Chicago Cubs winning the World Series this year, and they are now mathematically eliminated. What this does is it will string out the process. How can a president deny it at this point? He's not going to say we're not going to pursue the diplomatic path. But the meaning is that everything is shifted now in terms of the diplomacy. The idea of Assad has to go is over. There's all about the weapons inspections. It'll take months. As I said, in Libya, which had a much smaller arsenal, 8 years later, inspectors have found that he was still hiding stuff. So the idea is a serious proposal. Kerry himself said it can't happen, it's not going to happen. But that was honest, and now all of a sudden they have decided they're going to seize the political opportunity, and they'll pretend it's a real option, which it really isn't.
Tucker.
I would say that the illusion of competence that surrounded this administration for the past 5 years has evaporated, and I think the president's enemies are probably gleeful at that, but they shouldn't be. We've got 3 more years of this administration. That's bad news for the country. And I would finally say, how sad is it to compare the energy and the money and all the political capital expended over the last 2 weeks on behalf of the Syria question with Benghazi? 4 Americans killed. They couldn't even bother to arrest anyone and keep them in custody. If they'd only made the effort to avenge those 4 deaths that they're making to avenge the civilian deaths in Syria, we'd be better off.
Mara, New Fox polls, handling of Syria, the president's handling of Syria. As you see now, he is down to 29% approval on the handling compared to May, 37%, and disapproved 60%. And has the president adequately explained U.S. action possibly needed in Syria? Yes, 36, 57% no. It seems the speechwriters may be working overtime tonight.
Well, yeah, and tomorrow's speech is important for that reason. People have no idea what the strategy is, what the purpose is, what are we going to do. And I think that in terms of this latest development, reality is a factor. They either are going to be able to put these weapons somewhere and verify them, which means you have to have a ceasefire, or they're not. I don't think that he can pretend that the weapons have been turned over if they're not. I mean, there is an element of reality here, and there's a civil war raging in that country, and I don't see how you do it.
To the extent that this proposal has moved the needle at all, it is further evidence that diplomacy backed by the use of force, the potential use of force, is what gets things to happen. This wouldn't have happened if there hadn't been this possibility of a bombing campaign in the offing. The president will make an argument tomorrow night, I'm sure, in which he will say we need to keep this threat, this possibility real in order for this process to go forward. He'll make the argument. But the reality is everything is on hold, I think, for now, including action in Congress.
But to get a lawmaker to take a risk with a vote when constituents are 80-20 upside down against this for something that may never transpire.
That's right.
We may never.
That's why I say everything is as a matter, despite what he argues tomorrow night, I think everything is on hold for now.
We may never have a vote. That's the point.
Exactly.
You can string out the negotiations for months until nobody will remember what Syria is.
That is it for the panel, but stay tuned for a final round.